What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about two different cryptos today. We're going to talk about Zcash and Dash in the same video. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Zcash first, and then Dash later. I actually think Dash is at a really good point to buy. Zcash probably continues to move. I don't know if it's at as good of a place to buy, but we'll go over that. Okay, hit the like button, subscribe. Let's get into it. Okay, 450 right now. 1 day, 7 hours left in this week. It's more like 1 day and 6 hours left. If we're looking at the short-term stuff, we look at the 1 hour time frame here. We'll zoom back out to the weekly time frame. You can see that you are moving up. You had a little bit of a low point here at 370, and now you're moving up here, consolidating in what looks to be a either ascending triangle, if you want to call it that, or a pennant pattern, however you want to identify it. It's some type of bullish phase of consolidation, and likely soon to break out. I mean, if we look at this on Coinbase, the volume is absent. Typically, whenever your volume goes away, that means that you're at the point where you're going to break out one way or the other. We can break out to the downside. It's very possible. And inevitably, I wouldn't be surprised if Zcash did go lower at some point, but I think for now, we are going to go higher. That's the expectation. We look at the RSI. RSI is very bullish. Okay, you've got higher lows here, but lower lows in the RSI. That's hidden bullish divergence. You're hanging out above the 50. You're getting overbought. You're not getting oversold bullish. You've got a nice uptrend, higher lows and higher highs throughout. I mean, hell, man, you could drop from here, and guess what? You're still bullish because you still have this trend going for you. So, I mean, maybe you do. Maybe you do break out. And instead of a pennant, maybe you're in a horizontal channel and you find support down there. I don't know. However it works, I wouldn't get bearish. I wouldn't get incredibly bearish, I should say, on Zcash if we move down from here. Likely you'd find support around like 430 or 415, you know, if you went lower, and then you'd come back up and move higher. Sometimes patterns like this too, you will see like a sudden shift down. You'll slowly recover, and then boom, then you rally. You know what I mean? So, sometimes that does happen. I wonder if we could find an example of that real quick. Hold on. Like this, exactly like this, actually, right? You moved up, here's your consolidation range. You had a sudden shift down, and then boom, look, just like that. Literally just like that. That is a picture-perfect example of what I'm talking about here. You even did it right here, right? Small consolidation phase, and you had a shift up, but now to the downside, right? So it's just, it's somewhat common. It does happen, especially in these screwy environments where we have low liquidity and low volume. I mean, don't be thrown off. We are fully expecting the upside. But if we happen to break out to the downside, even if we go below this low, it's just a good buying opportunity. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Okay, 1 hour time frame here. Stochastics make me think that we would come down a little bit. Maybe. The MACD is building bearish momentum, kind of. I don't. Maybe we go down. I don't know. It's very neutral here. Hard to say. I'm thinking regardless, whether we go down from here or we break out from here, both are going to take us to higher prices. That's all. We're probably not stopping here. Inevitably, we will run up to prices that are about $100 higher from where we are now. That's my thoughts. Okay, 4 hour time frame. Looking at this, the RSI is overbought. Right, we were overbought back here. We could cool off a little bit and then come up. That's okay. Stochastics look bullish. The MACD looks bullish too. Right, it's very, very bullish. I very much would expect continuation from here. Daily time frame. Looking at this. If we were to take this, let's just see, from a low here to a high there, you bounce right off your 0.5, having a proper reaction. You got above the 236, looking to close your second day in a row above the 236. That's a very bullish sign in itself. From a high here to a low here, hit your 0.5 down to your 236. Typically in this scenario, you go from your 0.5 to your 236. We just go right up to the golden ratio. So anytime, we're at $450 right now. Anytime that's spent below this current price that we're at, it's not going to be long-lived. We are likely in a very short amount of time, sometime next week, maybe before Christmas, maybe on Christmas, just after Christmas, whatever. Ho, 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 Santa's coming early, and we're going to see prices around like $525 to $560, something around there. That's the target that I think we're going to see. I believe that will be a significant lower high for Zcash, and then from there we will start to build to prices that are even below this low here. Now, again, in the beginning of the video, I said that I thought Dash is at a better price to buy. This is why. Because while, yes, Zcash will probably come up, and that's a nice little bit of growth. I mean, what is that, 20%? More than 20%, 25%? From here to 525, it's about a 16% move. To 560, it's about a 24% move. So that's decent gains in what would be probably a week or less, very short amount of time, decent gains there. But, again, I think from that point, we probably reject and we come back down and find lower lows. Whereas Dash, I think, is actually at its low point. This concludes the part for Zcash. I will say this real quick just to kind of wrap things up. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. This could be the low. I'm not convinced that it is the low yet. I want to see more. It's completely possible that's the low and we consolidate like this, and we get higher lows, we consolidate. We'll become bullish at that higher low. But I'm still thinking that we go lower. I'm still thinking Zcash has a date with Destiny below $200. I could be wrong on that. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. But from here, 450, we'll move up roughly $100 and then proceed to move lower. Probably beginning January that way. Dash, meanwhile, has been dumping. It's been dumping hard, man. We're in this very, very slim fit descending wedge here, right? Falling wedge is what they're called. Whatever. Descending wedge, falling wedge. I think you're going to get a sudden breakout, a sudden shift. It's going to be like what we did here on November 14th and 15th, but bigger and maybe more pronounced, and something also that will inevitably bring us a higher low that breaks us higher. It won't take us to lower prices. Dash looks really good here, you guys. And I want to go over this real quick, okay? Just the long-term stuff, just to go over where we are, okay? You look at the low here, the low that we had on the 16th of June, or that week there from the high. We're right at the golden ratio zone. Okay, you wicked all the way into the golden ratio zone. We have 1 day left in this week and like 6 hours left. We're about to close above the golden ratio. So you have a very nice wick to the downside that pierced the golden ratio zone. You're closing here at areas that you found resistance before, you found support before. So closing here, closing is very important on a weekly time frame. The wick, it makes you think that you've broken through these levels, but the close solidifies that no, we haven't. We spent a short amount of time there. It was a fake out below these significant areas, and now we're actually closing here. We are holding this level as support, right? This is not a breakout. A breakout, right? Like these were not breakouts of this level. It was this that was the breakout. But anyways, golden ratio zone support. This has been the area that we've long assumed that Dash would go down to since, let's see. Since you got below $62 here. We were hopeful. I was bullish here. We were bullish at the lows. We were bearish at the highs, bullish at the lows, and we were still bullish here. I thought we'd move up higher, but no, we moved lower. We became bearish here, and we've been bearish ever since on Dash. Now, today, I'm bullish. And to be fair, I would have been bullish down here too, but I didn't make a video, so there's no proof of that, so whatever. I didn't think that we would actually go this low, but the lowest target that we gave was $34. I think we targeted $39 to $34 specifically. At least $45, but probably below there, right? We were thinking, I think it was $41 to $38. That might have been the specific target. It's been a while, but a little bit below there. Whatever. We went to 35. It's still at the golden ratio zone. It's perfect. We take this initial pivot from a low to a high. Go right down to your 1886 200 level. Let me just see real quick. Where'd you stop here? From a high to a low. Just above your 1414. Okay, no symmetry there. That's okay. Whatever. Sometimes it's nice to find symmetry, and maybe there is with other things, but I don't want to spend too much time on this. You can see that there is a lot of respect on this fib. Okay. And just for anybody who's learning fibs, you know, you could take any of these fibs. You could take this low to high here, but whenever you started this trend down, this is your first initial pivot, and it's the biggest one. That probably matters the most. And you can see here that you found support at your golden ratio for a time, rejected your 382, support at the 1272, rejected your golden ratio, support at the golden ratio, rejected the 1272. You're showing direct support at all these levels. And you look very constructive to the downside. Now we want to break that constructiveness. We want to be deconstructive to the downside. We want to be productive to the upside. To do that, you need to start finding higher highs and higher lows on your fibs, right? So first things first, don't reject your golden ratio, right? Here you found support at the 1272. Once you got below it, you found resistance at the 1272, and then you went lower. Here you found support at the golden ratio. Don't come back up and find resistance there, right? Don't reject the golden ratio. Don't find resistance where you found support before. That's not good. Break through it, find support at it again, and if we can get a higher high, that'd be really good. I'm expecting from here, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but I think Dash has a lot more than just a 16 to 25% move in it. From a high to a low, my expectation at a bare minimum from here, before we see any kind of turnaround, is something of a 54% pump. Dash will likely pump to $61, right? That's the 382 area. Look at this line, okay? This yellow line. Prior resistance here, prior support right here, prior resistance there. I'm sure if we went back in time, we'd even find levels of significance. Look at that, right there in this area of resistance as well. It's very common whenever you move up to either reject the 382 directly. And this is a pretty strong move down, so we could tip the 382, but it is technically more common to wick a little bit above it. I'm saying this not to be accurate, but to prevent people from getting excited, right? If we're talking about the 382 as a target area, $61, and you see the prices at $65, that's not exciting. It's actually very common to wick above the 382 and then close below it. Again, it's the little details, but that helps us control our emotions. Imagine you're watching me, and maybe you love me, maybe you hate me, but C-Zar, YouTube guy, said that it would go here. We're above it. We're breaking through. That means we're going to the next level. No, probably not. We oftentimes do wick just above it. So don't get excited. $61 is the technical target, but $64 does not mean you've broken that target. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. You're breaking this target if we get above this high. But at the same time, lately, it's somewhat common enough for cryptos to go all the way up to their 0.5 and then pull back to their 236. Volatility is going to happen. I don't think that from here, from this falling wedge, that we're just going to move up to new highs like this. It's not. We were here before and we moved up like this. It's not going to happen again. Okay, we will see new highs. It will climb higher. I believe that. But typically, whenever you end a range like this, what you'll do is you'll find a high, you'll find a higher low, you'll find a higher high, a higher low. You'll kind of consolidate, do your thing, and then once you get up to these areas here in the price, the 886 golden ratio zone, that's when you look to take off. That's when you look to break out, and that makes sense, right? Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but imagine that this was the move you had in store. Well, if you started that move from here, you wouldn't even see new highs. Where if you're consolidating and doing this, doing that, and then by the time you are ready to break out, you're over here at this point, now your move will take you to new highs. You see what I'm saying? Right? It's good to consolidate. It's good to work your way up. My thoughts would be that, especially because of how robust this downside move has been, you're going to get an initial pop. It'll probably take you above $60. Here we are below $40 now. So if you want a short-term trade, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, Dash is a prime setup. Absolutely it is. I think it's perfect. Very oversold. We look at the daily time frame here. Well, I shouldn't say very oversold, but you got to the oversold zone. You got very overbought. Really, you actually look very bullish. Typically, these downtrends end in the oversold zone. Sometimes they end with bullish divergence, and we could see that. It is possible that we do go below this low, but again, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. If we go below this low, it will not be by much. It will not be for long, and we will recover in a very prompt amount of time, very short amount of time. The stochastics have no bullish divergence. They're actually very bearish. But you have this look where you want to come out of the oversold zone, and that's bullish in itself, right? It's bullish to get both of them out. You don't want just the blue out. You want the blue and the orange out together. That's when it gets bullish. The MACD has some bullish divergence. That looks very, very, very nice there as well. 3-day time frame bouncing off the zero for the MACD. Stochastics are crossing up. The RSI is right at the same levels it was before whenever it bounced. There's a lot of bullish signals here, you guys. A lot of bullish signals indeed. So I think that sorry, I ate an apple, and I think the apple peel just got in my throat somehow. It was a really good apple, though. Let's see. Yeah, weekly time frame looks good. We have higher lows here still. The weekly RSI is actually very bullish. Stochastics are completely reset. And the MACD crossed red, but that's okay. You can have false crosses on the weekly time frame too, and that'd be a very bullish signal. Regardless of what happens in the very short term, do we rip through the roof? Do we continue to consolidate? Whatever. I think from here we're at $40. We're going to make an initial move, a shift that'll take us above $60. 60 to 65, that's my guess. If we go higher, that's cool. But if we go higher, don't think that means that we're just ripping through the stratosphere. That's probably not going to happen. Okay. When we do move higher, when we do get above this high, my expectations are that Dash will see something around $236 to $328, and that's kind of what I wanted to get to. This is why I think Dash is at a better place to buy than Zcash. Zcash, at best, this is the low, and you'll consolidate for the months to come, and then you'll break out, right? At worst, you have lower to go. Okay, you're definitely not from here moving up. You had a 25x in 3 months' time or less, and then you pulled back for 3 weeks. You think it's that simple? Is it, a 25x, we got a 25x in 3 months or less, we pulled back for 3 weeks, now we deserve to rally again. It's not that simple, guys, okay? So you're either going to consolidate for months at best and then break out, or at worst, you have lower to go. Dash, however, has not been moving down for 3 weeks. It's been moving down for basically 2 months. It's been moving down for 2 months. It had a very healthy correction, a very sizable correction from a high to a low. You dropped 76%. You're due. You're due for some upside. And I believe that this next move, whenever it happens, will take you to the 786, 886. I believe you have found your low. Therefore, technically, the next move starts now. Even if you move up, you consolidate, you do your thing, you take your time, and then you break out, right, sometime later. Even if it takes until March to get here, you're starting this move now, okay? That's why it's at a better price to buy, because from here to the 786, 886 zone, that is a whopping 490% pump, which is basically a 6x. to a 700% pump, a little bit more than that, which is basically an 8x. You got like a 6 to 8x potential here, you guys. And that's how it works, right? You typically do find resistance at the golden ratio the first time, but the second time you break through, typically, and you'll go to the 786 or the 886 specifically, or just somewhere in that zone. That's a 6 to 8x from the current price. Phenomenal opportunity. Phenomenal opportunity. And that probably happens within the next 3 months that we will see those prices be achieved. I've got nothing else. Hit the like button. Thank you all for being here. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Dash or Zcash probably moves up, I would think, now. Dash might move up with it, or it might move up a little bit later, but I would assume we will see Dash outperform Zcash. Probably in the month of January, it will outperform Zcash. We'll see. Anyways, take care. Thank you all. Bye-bye.